Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Well Body Unlimited YouTube channel. My name is Telsey, the owner and operator of Well Body Unlimited. I am thrilled to bring you another class called Pilates with Weights. So today we will be using 2 hand weights. I am choosing to use 5 pounds for the entirety of the class. You may want to have a few options that you can switch in and out of for various exercises depending on what feels good for your body. No fret if you don't have weights. A lot of this class can be done as is without the weights as well, and you'll have a great experience there. So without further ado, we will get started lying down on our backs today. So make your way down. I just have to excuse my friend Mila here. Find your way onto your back. And once you get yourself there and move your dogs out of the way, let's just take a nice deep breath. So a big breath in and a slow breath out. Let's do that again just to really settle in. Big breath in. And a slow exhale. One more time. Inhale. And slowly exhale. Have your feet on the ground, your knees bent, and let's place the hands on the pelvis. We're going to do a few pelvic tilts to warm up the hips and the spine. So you're just going to tuck the tail under or roll the pelvis towards the ribs, just ever so slightly, and then roll the pelvis towards your thigh bones. So pelvis rolls towards the ribs. You'll feel like your low back is imprinting into the mat. And then pelvis rolls towards your thighs. You'll feel that low back lifting a little bit. Let's inhale as we tilt pelvis to ribs and exhale as you tilt pelvis to thighs. Right now, let this feel really easy. Just breathing in and out as you move. Just getting a feel for kind of a soothing rocking or undulating up the spine. And let's do one more each way. Let's do a couple gentle warm-ups. This class is going to progressively warm you up as we go. We'll get a few staples in before we add the weights. So now find a neutral pelvis, that space in between the 2 tilts, and you're going to reach your hands up to the ceiling and press your palms together to touch in like a praying hands position. Relax your shoulders into their sockets. Relax every muscle in your lower body. We want to keep the pelvis still, and you're going to roll over just with the upper body to your one side shoulder blade. And then roll over to the other side shoulder blade. And we're going to go back and forth. When you roll over to the left, you make sure that your right hip is still on the ground, on the mat. And when you roll over to the right, you make sure your left hip is still anchored. Notice my head's rocking. You let your head rock with you. Basically, you're just kind of following your thumbs with your eyes back and forth. And you may feel like your rib cage is kind of a barrel shape here, rolling back and forth. That's great. Lean into that. You can breathe into one side and breathe out to the other. Excellent. Let's do one more each way. Good, and then come back through center. Open the arms up shoulder width apart, the palms still face each other. You're going to reach your right arm up to be a little bit taller than your left arm, so the shoulder blade moves away from the spine, and then slide the shoulder blade back home. Left arm stretches up to the ceiling, so the shoulder blade goes away from the spine, and then plug the shoulder back in. We'll inhale the right arm to lift, and we'll exhale it to come down. We'll inhale the left arm to lift, and we'll exhale it to come back down. Can you do that one more time? Each arm. Inhale the right arm. Exhale to settle it down. Harley crossing. Inhale the left arm. And exhale to set it back down. Take your right arm and reach it way back over your head and your left arm down by your hips. Take a breath in. And then exhale, switch to the opposite orientation. Inhale to that original side, right arm overhead, left arm down. And then exhale to switch. Go back and forth here. Inhale. And exhale. We'll do one more each side. Great. You can take your hands and you can hold on the tops of both of your knees. And let's just circle the hips around within their sockets. You can do, as I'm doing, like these mirror image circles in opposite directions, or you're very welcome to go the same direction. The same direction, you get less circulation of the hips, or circumduction, if you will. It's a fancy word for this, the circling of the hips around the sockets. Go the opposite way. If you're going the same way, you're going to get a little bit more mobility through the spine, which your low back might crave. So feel free to support yourself with what feels best in this one. We'll go 3 and 2 and 1. You can hold your legs up. I like to hold behind the knees here. And we're just going to circle the ankles around in these really slow and smooth circles. The end of class, we have a standing series, so I just want to be sure the feet are ready and prepared for when we get there. And we will be using our feet as anchor points in a few movements otherwise. Let's go the opposite direction, just circling around and breathing here. And then just wiggle your toes. Just get the toes wiggling around. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. For 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, you can set your feet down and we're going to grab the weights now. Of course, I set mine at the other end of the mat, so I'm going to get up and grab mine. But if yours are close by, you can grab a hold and continue on. So we're going to hold them in our hands to begin. You want to ground down your shoulder blades onto the mat and relax the pelvis onto the mat. Then fill out the back ribs and lengthen the back of your neck by tucking the chin down a little bit. We'll have the weights kind of stacked up above our shoulders with a soft bend in our elbows, like you're giving a hug to a big pillar. Squeeze the weights firmly in your fingers, especially, or between your fingers, especially with the pinky and ring fingers to help support the shoulders. I won't go into details, but just trust me on that one. Let's inhale the weights open. When you're open, you be sure you can see the weights still in your peripheral vision. Exhale, the weights come up and together. So a little chest fly to start. Inhale, the weights open. And exhale them back together. This movement is focused around the shoulder joint. So be sure as you're opening and closing the arms that it's not the elbows changing shape. They stay exactly the same the whole time. And you're squeezing at the hands to get a firm grip. But it's actually the shoulders moving. And you can imagine as you bring the arms back up to the ceiling, the first thing that moves, and the only thing really, is the shoulder joint. So focus here. Inhale, open. And exhale to come back up. A nice little stretch through the chest, some lengthening through your pec muscles, which can often get quite tight with everyday life. Let's go 4 more here. Excellent. We'll go 3. Good for 2. Working with weights is all about control, so definitely work on controlling the weights rather than flailing. And just 1 more here, you guys. Fantastic. Now you can hold the weights straight up to the ceiling, and I'm actually going to get you to move the dumbbells so that the pinky finger is at the head of the dumbbell. So you have a little bit of space you might be able to see between my thumbs and the dumbbells. We're going to go into some skull crushers. Unlike the name, we're not going to crush our skulls. So make sure your arms are shoulder width apart. If you get sore elbows, pressing the weights together can actually be helpful. So feel free to take that modification. You just won't bend as far back. So from here, guys, you're going to squeeze into the dumbbells, especially with pinky and ring fingers, and you're going to bend at the elbows to find a 90-degree bend in the elbows, and then push the weights back up with the pinky finger side of your hands. Bend at the elbows and then push the weights back up. Inhale, and then exhale to press back up. You want to keep the shoulder blades grounded down on the mat here. And really the elbows themselves stay exactly in the same space. So we're not letting them drift, in front or behind of us. We're just keeping them still and bending and straightening. You should be able to feel into, or you might be able to feel into the backs of the upper arms, the tricep muscles. I know some bodies don't tune into skull crushers the same way as everyone. So don't worry, we have other tricep options coming. And you might be able to hear my cracky elbows. That is something that I like to call the remnants of my gymnastics history. Exhale to press up. And inhale to bend back down again, finding 90 degrees. And let's go 4. Good. And 3. That's it. For 2. And just 1 more here. A little warmth in the upper body. That's great. We're now going to take both of the weights and hold them on either side of our hips. Make sure you're not letting the weights rest in a painful position. So be kind to your bones here. Your knees and your feet are hip distance apart, and your shoulder blades are on the mat. You're going to knit your front ribs towards each other so we're not arching into the back, and we're going to push down in the feet, straight down into the floor, and push the hips up into this weighted bridge option. Lowering down, can you relax your glutes so the sit bones flare wide, and then press down in the feet to push the weights up. The sit bones flare, the sit bones spiral towards each other on the way up. And then they flare out and wide on the way down. And then they spiral towards each other on the way back up. Inhale. And then exhale, pressing straight down in the feet. And so just warming up through the hinge of the hips, hip flexion and extension, front and back. If you don't like the weights draped across your hips, some people will prefer to hold like this, the dumbbells stacked vertically on the thighs. It feels a little bit different, but however you feel most supported and pain-free is what I'm looking for here. Let's go 3 more like this. So 3. Good. Remember, we're not in a rush to get strong. For 2, you have the rest of your life to work out. Let's just be consistent. Slow and steady always wins the race here. Last one like this. Hold up at the top. Lower the hips halfway down. Push down in the feet to rise back up. Halfway lower. Press down in the feet to rise back up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Can we go for 4? And 3. 2. 1 more. Down halfway, up, and then you can come down all the way. Fantastic. Okay, we're gonna go single leg now. We're gonna try and crisscross the weights. Might be easier said than done. And stack them on top of just one of your thighs. Now, if you have a weight in your space that is double the weight, just take that. You don't have to crisscross, okay? But let's see if we can kind of load up the right hip with the same weight that we just used for both hips. And then you have the option of starting with the tippy toes of the left foot on the ground. That helps for balance. Or you could start with this leg lifted right to tabletop. I'm going to start with tippy toes and then progress to tabletop just to get these weights figured out. So the right foot and the left. Oh, I'm so sorry. Guys, I'm new to using a microphone. Can you just give yourself a little water break while I put this back on? This is a real-time blooper. There we go. So we're going to have the right foot and the left shoulder as your anchor points. Your left toes are just kind of kick-stood, if you will, on the mat. And we push down through that right foot and left shoulder to rise up. And then we lower down. Exhale, rising up. Inhale, lower down. Now you can keep the left foot down if that helps you with balance. Or you're very welcome to float this left leg to tabletop. Oof, that's a lot harder. And work out of the strength of just that right leg. Now if you feel super wobbly, or if your neck is tensing up, it's not really worth your time to bring tension to your neck just to work your glutes. Just bring those left toes down and hardly put any weight on them. Good. Okay. Can we do 5 more here? Exhaling to lift, inhaling to lower. And 4. That's it. 3. Good. You got 2 more. And 1. Okay. Set the left toes down if they were up, and we're just going to simply go right over to the other side. So you can take your crisscross weights or your single heavier dumbbell over to that left hip. Now again, I'm going to start with my right toes kick-stood on the ground just to get my anchor points, and then I'll progress. You're welcome to do that with me. The left foot and the right shoulder are your anchor points here. So push down into the left foot and the right shoulder. Take a breath in. Exhale to rise back up. Inhale to lower down. Exhale, finding those anchor points. Left foot, right shoulder. Inhale, lower down. Good. Now if you want, you can lift that right leg up and work from here. You do what feels supportive. I do find my left glute is not as strong as my right glute, just due to some hip complications. So I find this side very challenging. Remember to press straight down into the foot, like you're trying to bury it in sand. That's it. How about we try 4 more here? This one's really shaky in me. And 3. Good. Let's go for 2. And 1. Okay. Set the right foot down. You're going to take both of the weights again, up and overhead. Why don't we turn the dumbbells to face that horizontal orientation? And then we're going to pull one of your knees to tabletop and then the next. Knit your front ribs towards each other and imagine kind of tightening a drawstring around your low abdomen between the hip bones of the pelvis there, the front hip bones. Take your right leg, stretch it out long, and then pull it back in. Left leg, stretch it out, and pull it back in. A little core stability here. Right leg. Good. And left leg. Awesome. Keeping those front ribs and front hips knit towards each other to your best ability. There's lots of little, I'll say, snacks for your core intertwined through this class. So don't worry if you're feeling like this is all you're going to get for your core. We're actually headed straight into a side core exercise right after this. And keep your breath flowing. Keep your ribs and hips knit together. Keep your chest soft. Okay, both legs in. Glue them together just for 5 reps. We're going to stretch both legs out and pull both legs in. Both legs out and pull both legs in for 3 more. And 2. And 1 more. Step 1 foot down, then the other. Take the weights down. You can set them, I'm just going to get them out of the way of the view here. And you're just going to rock your knees from side to side. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling nice and warm throughout your torso, throughout your hips and your shoulders. And then I'm going to have you guys just roll over to your sides. Doesn't matter which, because we're going to get right up here into a kneeling position. So you're up on your knees. If you are someone with tender knees, I definitely recommend a little pad for your knees. And or you can double up your mat to have something nice to kneel upon. It's worth your time because we'll be here for a little bit. So grab both of your dumbbells. You're going to hold them a little bit in front of you. And that's the line they're going to work with. It's just that little bit in front of you. You're going to knit your front ribs together, tuck your tail under just a little bit for support. And you're going to take the weights and we're going to pull them out to the side for a lateral raise. And then back down. So this is working the top side of your shoulders. You really want to squeeze the dumbbells with your hands. Let's exhale to go out to the side and inhale to come back down. This one's all about control. Keep it slow, okay? Excellent. Imagine pulling the weights up with the sides of your shoulders. So focus on that. You can imagine that muscle shortening or pulling short to get the arm bones right up there. Good. Can we go 3 more here? So 3, that's it. Good, and 2. Yes, and 1 more. Excellent. Starting to feel some heat in the shoulders for sure. From here, we're going to hold the weights at your shoulders, and we're going to come down to what we call low kneeling. And then we're going to rise up and press up at the same time. And then the weights pull down, the hips come back, and then rise up and press up at the same time. Can we inhale, come down? Exhale, press. Inhale, come down. Exhale, press. If you have tender knees, you may not like coming all the way down. You could just do the overhead press. So instead of kneeling back, you just press up. Good. Let's go 5. Shoulders getting a lot of attention here today. 4. And you might start to feel your thighs working. For 3. You got it for 2 more. And let's go for 1 more. Fabulous. And then you can come on down for a moment. Let's hold on to just one of the weights. I've got it in my right hand. And we're going to take the left leg out to the side. You can either turn the toes out away from you or a little bit of a diagonal, whatever feels more comfortable for your hip. The left hand comes behind your head. The right hand is anchored down just with the weight. We're going to inhale to the side and then exhale, pull back up. Now we're working left side body here. Inhale down. Imagine left side ribs pull towards left side hip to come back up. Inhale. Exhale. Excellent. Inhale. Exhale. So really focusing on this long side of the waist here. contracting to pull you back up. Good. And the way you get back up, I recommend pressing down in the right knee to get back up. So right here, start to push that right knee down. You'll get a little more core involvement. Good. Can we go for 4? And 3. Really starting to feel this one. For 2. That's it. And 1 more. And then there's always a little special treat with these ones. You're going to tip over to the side halfway, reach the left arm to the ceiling, and we'll pulse up and down. So up like you're reaching to the ceiling, and then sinking down with that weight. This one works. This one shows you what's working real good. Can we go for 6 and 5? You got it for 4 and 3. Good. 2 and 1. And then come all the way up. Good. We're going to switch the weight to the other hand, and we're going to switch the stance of the legs. Again, the toes could turn out or a little dialed in. You do what feels most comfortable for your hips and your ankles. Take your right hand behind your head. Think about it being tall in your spine. Ribs knit together. We fold over to the left. You breathe in and then exhale, come up. Inhale to the side. Exhale to come on up. Imagine pulling the right ribs down towards the right hip to get yourself back up. You don't rest on the floor with the weight. You might not even touch it. It depends on the size of your dumbbells. But if you are finding the floor, just a little tiny tap, okay? Not anything supportive, because it's a lot harder to get back up that way. We want to keep the right oblique muscles active. All right, let's go for 3 more like this. And 2. We've got 1 more, and then we add those pulses in. Okay, come halfway over, reach your right arm up to the sky, pulse up, sink down, pulse up, sink down. Whew. You got it. Let's go 6. Oh my goodness, this one's tough. 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way up, bring this arm down. Okay, we're moving on. We are going to come into all fours next. Have your weights close, or I'll go this way. Have your weights close to where your hands will be. And then let's go just hands and knees for a moment. Let's arch the spine, breathe in. Relax through the glutes, and then breathe out as you round. Breathe in to arch the spine. And then breathe out to round. Good. Let this feel good. When you arch the spine, you relax your glutes, relax the pelvic floor. When you round, you don't have to contract those things, but just kind of keeping an awareness of pushing the floor away with the hands and the legs. Now this next one, you can find a neutral spine here, is a bit of a doozy. So if you want to do this without the weight or with lighter weights, I understand. I'm going to try and fake it till I make it today. So I'm going to hold one of the dumbbells in my left hand. That means that the right hand and the left knee are now my anchor points, okay? So these are the strong points that I need to press into, the right hand and the left knee. I think about keeping a long spine, navel draws in, ribs knit together. You ready? We're going to take the weight, we're going to pull the shoulder blade and the elbow back for a row. And right from here, you're going to reach the arm forward and then swing the elbow back and behind you. And then forward. It's a lot on the shoulders. You may also feel either right away or soon how much core stability is involved in a movement like this. Keep your spine long. Try not to look at the dumbbell. Rely on feel. You want the gaze just straight down to the floor. Back of the neck is long, bending, and straightening. Let's go 4 more like that. So 4. Good. And 3. Or 2. 1 more each way. You row and you reach. Good. And then you can set this weight down. And from here, we're going to take the weight in the crease of the right knee. So right behind you there, crease of the right knee, you may need to squeeze it a little bit more. So I'm lifting my foot up just so I don't feel like I'm going to drop it. Your anchor points remain the same. If your wrists bug you, this is a great one to come to your forearms for. From here, why don't you flex your right foot? You push through, like I said, the right hand and the left knee. You have a long neutral spine. We're going to reach this right leg up behind us. Imagine putting a perfect footprint on the ceiling, and then tap the knee to the floor. And then press straight back up and back down. You want little to no movement anywhere else in the body. Inhale to tap down. Exhale to press up. So this one, you don't actually have to go as high as you think you need to. I know it's the legs behind us. Sometimes when we do movements we can't see, we accidentally overcompensate for them. So what I want you just to feel for is the movement of the thigh bone and a contraction of your glute. And you may be feeling the support of your right shoulder quite a lot right here. Let's go 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Hold the leg up. Let's do a little pulse. Down and up with control. It's not a fast pulse. It's just a tiny range of motion. And I don't know if you can hear in the background with this mic. My little puppy here is, he's 15. Our old man dog Harley is snoring. I hope you can hear that. That's wholesome. Let's go 4. And 3. 2. And 1. Good. Okay, come on down with that leg. You can take the weight out, set it aside. Keeping 1 more go here with the right hand anchored, the left knee anchored, spine neutral. We're going to reach the right leg behind and the left arm forward, tips of toes and fingers touching the floor. Breathe in. Exhale, lifting opposite arm and leg. Inhale, tapping down. Exhale, lifting. Inhale, tapping down. Keep your spine long. You want to stay really purposefully tall through that right shoulder. You may be very aware of all the work your glute just did. Now, see if you can put some attention through your core. Can we go 4? And 3. That's it. 2. And 1. Well done. Okay. You can sit your hips back to your heels for a moment. You can roll your wrists around, give them a little moment here. We're going to do a little exercise on our stomachs first, and then we'll go back to the other side, okay? Shake your wrists out if you need to. So no weights for this next exercise at this moment. You're just going to come down onto your stomachs. Your hands can be kind of at the top corners of your mat. Elbows are maybe in alignment with your shoulders or a little bit behind. And the hands can be mat width apart. Now, you're going to lay flat down. I'm not going to because I'll squish my mic and it'll make a whole big rattle. But let's lead with the head. So the legs are out long behind. the head starts to lift and gaze slightly forward. And right here, pull the shoulders back, press into the hands, and rise up any amount that feels okay for your back. And then roll down bone by bone. Inhale. Exhale, lift the head, tilt it forward, shoulders draw back as you push into the hands. A little bit of work for the triceps, pushing through the hand. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift the head, roll the shoulders back, push into the hands. Good. Inhale, lower down. You want this to feel as even as possible through the right and left sides of your spine. So with that said, make any adjustments you might need to ensure that this movement does feel exactly even down the right and left side of your spine. Inhale. And then exhale, lead with the head, pull the shoulders back, push through the arms and roll back. I think physiotherapists, at least in my area, call these floppy push-ups. We are doing in Pilates what we just call like a prone spine extension, extending the spine on our stomachs. Or yoga would call this a variation of cobra or upwards dog. But it's all good stuff, no matter which option you choose to call it. It does great things for helping bring a little bit of bone density about the vertebra, which is a great idea. So even if this movement doesn't have a lot of feel factor, you might feel your arms, however. But it does do a lot of work for just cueing to the spine that we need the bones to be a little more dense if they're going to be compressed like this. Let's do one more. So consider this movement one for health. Great, don't skip it. And then let's press ourselves up to hands and knees. And we'll get into that work on the other side. So the right hand will have the weight. The left hand and the right knee are anchored down onto the mat. And your spine is nice and long. You're going to pull the right elbow behind you, shoulder blade as well. And then you swoop this arm forward. Whew, it's harder on this side. Reach the arm behind you. The right arm's already done a lot of work holding us stable. Swoop it forward. Inhale. And exhale. Reminder, you can always do this with a lighter weight or with no weight. And you're still going to get a lot of feeling out of the shoulders because gravity is pushing down on you. So you, quite literally, have the weight of the world to work with here on your real strong right shoulder. Can we go for 4? And 3. 5 pounds is really ambitious for this one, for my shoulders. For 2, so I'm very aware of that. 1 more. Row and shoulder flexion, and then down. Okay, take the weight and place it behind the crease of your left knee. You may need to, again, bend the knee in to pinch the weight into place, and then flex the foot. Always an option to come to your forearms here if your wrists are feeling tender. Knit your front ribs together, lengthen through your spine. Anchor down through your left arm and your right leg. And we're gonna send this left leg up behind and then tap the knee back down. Send the left leg up behind and tap the knee back down. You wanna be mindful that you're not letting your hips swish to the right or the left for that matter. So you're relying a lot on the strength of your left arm here. You're leaning over top of it a fair bit. Good. Inhale down, tap, and then exhale up. Inhale down, and exhale up. Let's go 3. You got it. For 2. And 1, hold the leg up. We got little pulses up and up and up and up. Navel draws to spine. Control, down and up, down and up, down and up. You got it. Let's go 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Bring it on down. You can remove the weight. And last but not least in this series, the arm and leg reach, or some know it as the bird dog. You press down into your left hand and your right knee. Slide the left foot out. Slide the right fingertips forward, and then float these limbs off the ground and tap back down. Exhale to float. Inhale to lower. Can you keep your spine neutral? We're tall, purposefully tall, through the left shoulder and the right hip. So we're not bringing compression as best we can to our standing limbs. Inhale down, exhale lift. Can we go for 3? You've got it for 2. And 1. Fantastic. Okay, round your spine, big cat stretch. And then find neutral. Tuck your toes under. You can step your hands a bit forward if you need to. And we're going to press back to a downward dog or a pike. And we're just going to pedal out the feet here. A little moment for feel good. Pedaling the feet, stretching through the toes especially. Coming into our standing series next. Let's go 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Lift up tall on both tippy toes, and then try to ground both heels. You can walk your hands back until your heels land. And we're in this forward fold. Take a big breath in. Let it go. Make sure the back of your neck is just hanging down. Curl your tail under, push through your feet. Let's rebuild the spine up to standing, one bone at a time. Last thing to raise up is the head. Okay, so we're in our finale series here. We are going to use the weights for this whole series. So grab a hold, and we are going to start with some lunges. So you're going to step your right foot forward. Your left toes back. Your legs are going to be hip width apart. So you're not on train tracks here or a tightrope. Sorry, I should say that the right way. You are on train tracks. You're not on a tightrope. And let's just test our lunge stance. Make sure it feels good. So you want 2 90-degree angles in your legs. Mine feels about good. I'm actually going to step my back foot in a tad. If you struggle with balance, you may want to have your hand against a wall. If you're okay here, great. Then we can add some movement of your arms. So we're going to lunge down, and we're going to circle the arms all the way overhead. And we're going to rise up and control the arms back down. Inhale to lunge down. Exhale to come up. You're pushing through your right heel quite a lot, and your left toes. You might get a little stretch through your left hip. Inhale. Exhale. Quite normal for the heart rate to get up here because we're changing levels with the body. So don't mind my heavy breathing. Good. Controlling those weights with the upper body. You got it. Let's go 3 more here. And 2. 1 more. Bring your weights just at your chest. Lunge down. Little pulse up and down. Up and down. Let's go 4, 5, and 4. 3, 2, 1. And then press all the way up. Both feet come forward, hip distance apart. You're going to squat down and fold over a little bit, flat back. Elbows pull by your side, navel draws to spine. Swing those arms back and then bend in, triceps here. Shoulders are pulled back in their sockets. Head is in alignment with your spine. Oh, I'm getting hot from those lunges. You might be too. Really feel for a little pause at the back end here. And no need to be squeezing your bum a lot here. Really anchor into your feet. Okay, let's go 4. And 3. That's it for 2. And 1. Well done. Come up to stand. Whew. You guys, we're getting there. We're almost done. Couple more challenges and then our cool down. You're going to hold your hands forward, closed off in front of you here. Elbows are bent 90 degrees, shoulders in sockets. We're going to open to goalpost arms and then bring it back together. Open to goalpost, shoulder blades slide back and shoulder blades come apart. We're working now. Heart rate always gets up when we do standing work or lower body work. Not a bad idea. Get the heart supported. Good. Can we go 4? And 3. You might be able to feel some warmth between your shoulder blades. For 2. Good. Got a little treat coming for you. 1, hold open. Little pulse up, down, up, down. Whew. Good. You want to make sure that your ribs are stacked over your pelvis. Your pelvis is stacked over your ankles and feet. Navel can draw the spine gently. We have 5 and 4. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Press all the way up and bring it all the way down. We only have the lunges with the other leg in front, and then we get to cool down. Step your left foot forward. Your right toes back. Your legs are hip width apart, or like you're on train tracks, not a tightrope. Let's test your first lunge, lowering down. Just make sure you feel you have 2 90-degree angles from your front to back leg, in your front and back leg. And you're strong through your left heel and your right toes. Inhale, lunge down, arc the arms overhead. Exhale, bring it on up. Inhale, arms arc overhead, lunging down. Exhale, pushing equally through your left heel, or your front foot heel, and your right toes. You may also get a bit of a nice stretch through that right leg on the back leg on the front side of it. Now we've done a ton of work for the shoulders today. So if they're feeling done, do the lunges without the shoulder movement. You can just hold the weights by your side. If you can hang in there with me, we're going to do 3 more. Whew, it's getting hard though, isn't it? You're doing fantastic. And 2. 1 more. We just have to pulse it out. Okay, bring the weights in front, lunging down. We pulse up and down, up and down, up and down. You got this for 5, 4, 3, stay in charge of it, 2, and 1. Okay, press all the way up, retire your weights. Oh my goodness. Well done, my friends. Hands on your hips, feet are shoulder width apart. Let's do some hula hoop circles around. We'll bring the heart rate down. Let's go the other way. Good. Okay. Excellent. Take your left arm up and overhead, side bend. Let's go to the other side. Right arm up and overhead, side bend, and back. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Come a little closer together with the feet, maybe hip width. Place your hands over your chest. I'm going to actually go over my sternum because my mic's over my chest, but you guys put your hands right over your heart. You're going to turn over the right shoulder, back to center. Turn over the left shoulder, whole body turns. Back to center, knees are softly bent. Turn and back and turn and back. One more, each way. Great. Arms down by your side. Roll the right shoulder up and around. Roll the left shoulder up and around. You can kind of sway with this. Swaying does wonders to relax your nervous system. You can kind of think like how rocking a baby helps the baby relax. It's the same idea. We don't really grow out of that. So you can self-soothe with some swaying and bring some fresh blood flow to your well-worked shoulders by doing this. Let's go 3 and 2 and 1. Fabulous. Walk to the back of your mat. Sweep your arms out to the side and overhead. Breathe in. As you exhale, curl down at the arms, the head, the shoulders. Relax the arms as you roll down. Knees are bent generously. Keep bending the knees. Bring yourself to your hands and knees. Awesome. You're going to stay on hands and knees. You're going to swing your hips to the right and push your bum back a little bit, kind of back and right. You swing forward, back through center, and then just shift your bum to the left and press back to the left. Back through center, over to the right with the hips and push back. Back to center, over to the left with the hips and press back. Let's go for one more each time, each side, mobilizing the hips and the knees. Little stretch through the quadratus lumbaris muscle too, the kind of low back area on either side. Come back to center. Take the right arm, sweep it up to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, thread the needle. We're going to lower down to the side of the head. Stretch the left arm over. Relax the hips. Close the eyes. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Try to remove all effort here. If your left arm's extended out, slide it back in, press into it to come back up. Take your left arm up to the ceiling, breathe in. Exhale, thread the needle. Lower down to that left side of your face here. The right arm can stretch overhead. Relax the hips. Remove all effort. Just breathing. Slide the right hand back in to press yourself up. You can widen the knees, send your hips back to your heels, and we will finish class in a child's pose today. You bring your forehead to the mat. Relax the belly. Close down the eyes. Relax through any muscles that you feel tension through. When you breathe, really keep your pelvic floor relaxed, the muscles that help you use the bathroom, among many other things. When you breathe in, maybe you can feel the pelvic floor muscles bloom or blossom into a lengthened position. You might feel them kind of settle back home when you exhale. That's ideal. Let's do a couple more breaths here with the focus of the pelvic floor relaxing or blooming open on the inhale. And you just keep it relaxed on the exhale. It will retract on its own. Let's do 2 more breaths. And 1 more. You can press yourself back up, or you're very welcome to stay in your child's pose if you've found some bliss there. Maybe you can keep it going. Otherwise, you can meet me in a cross-legged position here for one final breath all together. Can we take the arms out to the side, take a big breath in. Hands come down in prayer as you breathe out. Thank you so much for joining today for this Pilates with Weights class. I hope you had fun, and I will see you next time.